You might find it's helpful if you want to decorate afterwards with fabric or decorative paper to cut out paper templates on copy paper of all the unusual shapes. So these are the shapes that we recommend you draw round to create template. Okay, right, so you're going to start with your lid construction now. This is your inside lid shelf, and you're going to put your inside lid flap on. So with your letters pointing up, you're going to need to put some of your hinge tape on the long side here opposite the brad hole. So we're just going to do that now. Again, I find it easiest just to fold the tape in half before I stick it. What you need to do now is obviously when your shelf is in, you're not going to be able to open the lid if you haven't got some form of temporary opening. So I'm going to just use a little bit of tape. You might decide before you actually stuck this in, you might want a couple of holes here to do a little ribbon handle, or just to put your own hardware handle in that you've got. Or you may decide you want to put a tab at the side, which you'll see on some of our completed boxes. Some people have just put a little inside tab to I'm just using a bit of scrap architect for this, so I'm just going to take this, pop this up here and do it like that. This is just a temporary one, just so that when the lid's shut I can lift it up from a flap here. And you're also going to fit this in. Again, this is all temporary until you come to decorate your pages. Going to pop your brad in here. It's just so everything is in place, and that should fit down nicely. Okay, so when your box lid is upside down, it won't open. Now we're going to start the box lid, and this does take a bit of construction and patience, but it is actually, believe it or not, easy to do. It's best to lay out your pieces like this first, just so you have an idea in your mind of how they're actually going to work, and you need to have all your tab slots nearest to your piece H, your inside lid. So I've seen how all my pieces are. I'm going to move them out of the way, and I'm going to start with one of the long sides here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue and pop that in there. So we'll just run along here. This one doesn't want to come out. Okay, so we're just going to run along. That's it. And then we're going to stick that piece. If I turn it round, you'll be able to see better. So that piece is stuck on there like that. Okay? And then we're going to work our way around. So we're going to take our next little piece. It's going to fit there. And it is worth using a good PVA glue. You want a strong, quick grab one, like Collal Tacky Glue or Cosmic Shimmer. That's your next one. Just give it time to grab before you move on to the next piece. Just take your time. Right, so that's all the side pieces and panels fitted onto the base of your roof. So you need to give this time to dry now, but you can work on your other bit of your roof lid while this is drying. This does look complicated, but it isn't as complicated as it looks, and you just really need to follow step by step. What we would suggest is that you get all your pieces first and you just butt them up so they fit perfectly. You will have your angled gaps there, but that's expected. And then you're going to take your hinge tape, and on each edge that's butting up, you're going to place it halfway across. We're going to work our way round. What you don't want to do is have any tape in between these gaps here. So we're just going to work our way round. Right, so that's your finished top facet of your lid. What you're going to do now is turn it over, and we're going to apply tape all the way around the edges. Cut a piece that's the same length, fold it in half, and you're going to stick it along the edge here, trim your corners, and you're going to repeat that process all the way around for each edge of the roof. So I'll do this one and then we'll show you the rest when it's completed. So I'm just going to trim this here where I've folded it over, and there. I'm going to peel that back just to halfway, and then that is going to stick on there like that. And if you have even the slightest bit, just trim that little bit so it's not overlapping at all, because you don't want any of those bits in the gaps. Okay, that's done. So we're going to repeat that process now all the way around. So that's your tape applied all the way around, and it's all trimmed, so there's no tape actually in the gaps there. So now you need to take your box lid, and you need to have it so that the brad and the flap open down that way. Now lay this flat on top. Okay, and the easiest way to do this is to start with one corner. I may have to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so you've got that lined up, just drop the tape down. Okay, and you're going to turn it round, and you're going to work on the opposite corner. You're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time you're going to push the corner up, line it on the edge, sew it straight, and stick it down. Then I'm going to do my other corners. Just come round. This one's popped up. And the reason you start with the small corners first is because it's easier to manipulate them. I'm just doing this very lightly at the moment. Going around the corner here, pop it up and stick. So then you're going to start, I think I'll go with an end piece here. Right, and now you can see that I need to do a little bit of manipulation. So that's it. Stick it in place. Again, do it lightly, don't burnish your tape down completely fully until you're happy with everything. It is much easier to work in opposite pairs. And I know it looks wonky at the moment, but it will look fine when it's finished. So we'll just Move this one a little bit. That's it. Don't lift it from the top because that's already stuck. It's from the base that you need to move it when you're manipulating. Carry on round. Do this one here. Sorry, the box is moving out of your view. Put that one there. And then we've got this one here. I'm going to stick it on there. Okay, so there's your box, and if you're not quite happy, just manipulate it a bit more. Okay. Now, if you push it down like that, don't panic. Turn your box lid over, open it up, and you can push it out from the inside. Okay, so you can push it out if you need to, if you've put it in too far. Just close that down. Right, so these need to be burnished down really well now. Be gentle when you first start this, because obviously if you push too hard it's going to push the facets in, but although you can push them out again. That is your faceted box lid. Again, you've got a gap there, so you can just manipulate that round a bit. Just push it round. And what you need to do then is exactly the same as before, and run little beads of glue all the way down the joins and leave it to dry. Okay, so here's the final faceted box lid all completed, and we've just run PVA glue just down in the gaps of the joins. Just give that time to dry, and then you need to paint that as well before you use any architrave.